Disenchanted Cottage here for our Witches Social on, what day is it? It's Sunday.
It is Sunday today.
End of January. Wow, end
Yes.
of January.
Yep.
January the 1100th.
Tomorrow's the 1st.
Tomorrow's the 1st of February.
Yeah.
Yep. New day, new month, new everything. Yeah, I'm just gonna put up our phone number here. 226-931-1419.
I should probably get my phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would work. So we'll just give a few moments. Yeah, that was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was like
a real strain for
it
you.
was over there.
It's okay. I'll just pin this to the top. Yeah, we see some people are popping on. When you do pop on, guys, just give us a little hello. Because unfortunately, with the PC, with the computer, we can't actually see who's online, who's joining us. So as we have all along, just pop on, say hello. Just give us a little heads up that you're on and watching, and yeah, we'll make sure to say hello back and include you in our discussion.
Well, contributing,
Yeah,
right?
contributing.
Not just watching,
Yep.
contributing. That's
Hi,
the whole
April.
point of the Witches Social, is for everyone to jump on here and have some questions or comments or experiences to share.
Yeah.
We love hearing you guys on here. We love seeing you type away and answer our
and
questions.
Contributing.
So, yeah.
The whole point of this was, as if you've joining us for the first time and haven't seen any of our other feeds, this was something that we would actually do in shop, in our store, and just like a little social, a little get together, just to talk about whatever's on our minds, whatever's going around, the energy of the days, the times, whatever. And since we can't do that because of lockdown at the moment, we're extending it virtually to everybody, the world. It's not just whoever can manage to come into the shop, but whoever can join us on these 2 o'clock socials. It's been awesome.
It's been
a
good.
lot of fun.
It's been nice connecting with people.
had
I've really
some
enjoyed it.
Great discussions.
Yep,
and-
there's been some soft discussions. There's been some, more.
Yep. William says hi. Hi, William.
Hi, William. Are you in the living room?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're at home today, in our kitchen again, actually.
Yeah.
And William's in the living room with Echo. So for you guys who've been to the shop well before Christmas, Echo was part of our shop for like, I don't know, month and a half.
A massive bearded dragon,
yes.
for those that don't know who Echo is.
Yeah, and we were keeping her secret from William because it was a Christmas present for him. So he's up here playing with
For
Echo.
all that time we had Echo, we actually bonded quite nicely to her, and
she's
we
quite
had
the
to give her
little
up
critter.
for Christmas. We actually talked about not giving it to her.
I know, we were going to keep her in the shop
Yeah.
because everyone was
That'd
loving
just be
her.
So just to catch up here, April, hi. Melissa, hey. Pat, hi, Pat. Elizabeth, Linda, Charmaine, hi guys. All familiar faces.
Yep, awesome.
Have been with us since the beginning here of our online Witches Social. Wanda's
Wanda's here today.
Hi guys.
Yep, hi
Good to see
guys.
ya. Is everybody enjoying being inside on this nippy day? We did have to pop out for a little bit to the shop this morning.
Yeah, we did a virtual tour for a couple people. It was nice. We were walking around the shop.
It was
so,
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was grateful to come back home and where it's warm and quiet. And
It's not quiet.
Yeah, well, no.
The kids
No,
are here.
it's
It's not quiet.
But we did manage. I managed to get a few things done while we were there. Get some things
Yep.
accomplished, and looking forward to putting
Yeah,
my
me
feet up
too.
this afternoon. Yeah. So today's topic, we really wanted to bring the idea of altars to the table. Pun intended. No, we were going to talk about that today. Altars. Obviously, we're coming up on a very specific Sabbath. A Sabbath. Imolc is coming up.
Yep.
And as much as we discussed with our MEC members, altars, altar tools, all of that sort of thing, we do kind of want to bring this dialogue to everybody who's joining us today. Honestly, do you have an altar? What purposes, plural, obviously, does it serve? Because it's not always just I set up an altar and I left it like that for the last 15 years. We'd like to see that there are purposes for having your altar. What are they? Why do you use an altar if you use one? Where do you have it in your house? Do you have multiple altars?
Has lots of questions for them. Holy. Send
really
us a
anything about
picture.
altar. Yeah,
Send us a
pictures
picture
if
of
you
your
want.
altar. Let us know how many you have. What is your purpose for it? And do you change it up each season? Because that's, I think, something we need to do today for ours. We've been so focused on the store and changing from Yule to Amok that we kind of forget our home stuff. So yeah, I think that's kind of why the topic has come up today, because it's in the front of our vision, and it's something we need to do here at home. So
we do have an altar at our house. It's in our living room, which has always been kind of our sacred space, family space, etc. It wasn't until our first lockdown that we actually put a television in. So for the 5-odd-ish years that we've been here, our living room was really just sacred space that we would all just sort of hang out and socialize and visit, and all of our books were kept in there. The altar setup was kept in there. It was just a very personal space. The violation of the TV, it doesn't bother me. I think it's cool. It's still a social place, but the focus definitely has shifted from the altar to the other side of the room where the television sits. And I felt a little bit bad about that, but then I realized it doesn't mean that we are neglectful. It doesn't mean that we've left anything behind, because we do have the pleasure of going to our shop every single day, where there are, at least
I think we have three, 4 altars set up at the shop for different purposes. Like when we were showing them around today in the shop, Jeremy showed them the one altar in our workshop space. And it's right now its purpose is for some healing for friends of ours, clients of ours. We have some candles and things going on for healing. So did you blow the candles out today?
I didn't actually light them today because we weren't there for very long.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yes. that's always a thought in our head is, did you leave a candle burning? That is actually a plan of ours in the very near future, is to actually create a safe place where we can leave 7-day candles burning without risk of fire, things like that. So a metal stand, and that's actually going to be a service that we provide for people. If they need a candle lit for specific purposes, we can do that, monitor, maintain these candles, and sort of keep the energy around that going.
Let's just kind of catch up here. The last thing I saw was Georgia wants us to show you Meet and Georgia, which are the birds, but I've posted so many pictures of them. Everyone knows who Meet and Georgia. Yeah.
They used to be shop pets until we brought them home because of the lockdowns of COVID, and now Georgia will not allow them to go back to the shop where they belong. So we all get to miss out because of one little
stuck
girl
with birds.
So Reggie says hi, and Amy says hi.
Hi,
Melissa
guys.
says she has an altar now, has hers in her room. I've also been using it to build on her magic. It's also a place where I can go to reflect. How do I send a photo? I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never joined live videos as a viewer, so you might not be able to send it
until
that
after.
Way. You'd have to check and see.
I think you should be able to do it through comments. Just as you're commenting there should be a way that you can put a picture in there instead of a comment.
Yep.
But show us your altar setup.
Oh, we have. Hang on. It says share. I wonder if that brings it up. Nope, it doesn't. It's just a badge.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, there you go. Check it out. See if you can figure out how to send us a photo. If not, you can just post it to our page.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at it.
In the comments here, like even before we're done or after we're done, that's fine. So hey Kim, nice to see you join in. See, it's Sunday, so we get a lot of people on here.
People that normally don't have the opportunity through the week if they're working or busy throughout the day. Sunday is typically a day off day of reflecting. For us, it's normally a day in the shop, actually, but who cares? We're taking a 2-day weekend.
Yeah, because of the restrictions, we've decided to, forego working on Sundays, so we take Sunday, Mondays off now. Right. It is still busy at the shop, but I don't know, we need some time off.
April says she's got a little one beside her bed and a space in the dining room where I have a picture of my, I'm guessing, late father and late grandfather.
Yep.
Once we move, I'm going to set up an altar in the living room.
Nice.
I hear quite a bit about this of people who practice the craft having multiple altars for multiple purposes and multiple locations. And I don't think that's an unhealthy thing either. It's not a division of your purposes. Actually, it's a real strong clarification, I think, of having multiple altars for multiple purposes. I'm okay with that. Yep, we caught you on that one, April. That's good. No worries there. Late, not Kate. Kate, your father. That could be a little confusing. Rodrigo is joining us today. Hello, and he's saying hi to everybody, not just us. Elizabeth says there's no option to send a photo in the comments, emojis and stickers only.
Okay.
I think because it's a
Because
page
it's a live.
as opposed to a, well, it could be because it's a live feed, but I think also because it's a business page as opposed to a group.
Okay.
Right. So it could just be something. I know that there are some restrictions with business pages, so that's all right. We'll figure something out. If you guys want to share pictures to us directly, that's an option as well. You can private message us photos or something, and we can see if we can find a way around this and put it up. I've been doing quite a bit of research as well into YouTube channels, and we do have a YouTube channel. It's sadly neglected, but I did figure out a way to allow us to do live, and then we'll probably cross stream between the two. And I'm in the process of actually downloading all of these feeds that we've done and uploading them to YouTube for people to be able to view that way. Because not everybody uses Facebook, and that's okay. It is a little complicated for us figuring all of that out. So yeah, to get back to the topic at hand, altars, I like that everybody seems to recognize that they have altars, they use them. Do you set them up only once? Do you maintain them on an ongoing basis?
Do you change them up?
Do you change them up? Do you change them up for the seasons, or do you just leave it the way it is? I'm just gonna scroll back here so I know I have the right person. April, saying that you've got one beside the bed, one in the dining room, and then the plan is to set up an altar in the living room. Are these altars ones that you maintain? Do you cleanse them consistently? Do
Visit
you
them?
change them up? Do you repurpose them for specific purposes? I'd like to know what your thoughts are on those. Here at the house, as I mentioned, our altar was primarily set up in our living room, and I was pretty diligent, pretty routine with setting it up for the seasons, for maybe some of my own purposes, my own workings. I think I took a lot of the responsibility for that. You enjoy sitting there and watching.
I like watching them put it together. It's cute.
It's my creative. It's my creative process. I kind of get into my own little meditative space, and she chimes in from time to time. But no, it's kind of been a fun practice for me, especially when I was new and exploring the craft, utilizing the altar as a way to align and narrow down my intentions, my purposes. Funny thing is, it's really been neglected here at the house, as I mentioned, because of all the things that are going on, changing shops and keeping on top of things, and the extended hours at the business, and all of that. And I felt kind of bad about it for a bit, but then I recognized that because we do live this life all the time, even though the altar at the house was a little neglected, we just lived it every day, all the time. It was so much in our forefront, our forevision. It's not even a peripheral thing for us. We'll catch up on some comments here. Rodrigo says, myself and my wife have several, including small portable one. Hers is in a picnic basket, and mine is a small
guitar.
I'm guessing guitar instrument case. If that's not a typo, I'm not sure what a gut it is, but yeah, I get the idea. Definitely behind that, and that's pretty cool. Now, I am curious, are they up front and visible? Are they open and being used, or are they always put aside and put back together, or closed up and put away after you use them? I have heard several people that do that. Their private altars are literally that, they're private. And at the end of any ritual work or any work that they would utilize their altar for, they actually pack it all back up and put it away.
So I really like the idea of the picnic basket, or even an instrumental case of some sort. Even like the caboodles, the makeup cases. Yeah. We had a customer once before. She would keep all her crystals all lined up in her makeup case. It wasn't used for makeup anymore. It was strictly for crystals. But I do like the unique ideas of the picnic basket, the musical instrument case, or the caboodle or something. Like, you can pretty much use anything for like a portable altar.
They are so OCD approved. I just love it. When there's a space for everything and everything in its space. I'm a huge fan of that. It makes me feel all warm and tingling inside. That said, that's why I do enjoy placing things the way I like them on the altar as well. It's not only a constant reminder for me, the tools, the purposes, the intentions of why I'm putting out what I put out, but it's also a reaffirmation of knowing what I know, why it is what it represents, why it is what it is, etc.
So you have done a few changes to our altar here at home since Yule, since Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I really like what you've done with your tangles. Yeah. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but they're these little glass tangles. You could get them from Green Earth all the time when they were open. So it has a couple significance for Jeremy. One, his daughter gets him one for every birthday or Christmas or something. So it's a thing. Yes, he's got quite a collection. It's a thing between him and his daughter. But now he's put them on our altar, and he has enough of the colors to represent earth, air, fire, water, and then a spirit. So that's what he until Christmas for it. Yeah, that's what he just did after Christmas. It was one she just got him for Christmas, and he's lined them up to represent the 5 aspects of witchcraft. So I really thought that was pretty cool, pretty genius of you. I'm enjoying it. Very creative.
I've used them before for that purpose, but obviously missing some of the key elements because they didn't have the color representation. So they were just kind of at one point we had a shelf set up. Each shelf represented one of the 4 elements. So only 2 of the shelves had one of the tangles, but there were other things representing the elements as well. So it's a very attractive, appealing way for me to see and to remind myself of the elements.
It's pretty. It's inspirational. All the altar tools and stuff are there as well.
Of course, now we have Brigid on there
because now's the time in MEC. So we have the goddess Brigid on a little statue of her on our altar. I just kind of pulled her out yesterday and set her there, and I'm like, we're done.
Yep.
Next.
Yep. We've got our Brigid's cross on there that you made last year.
Last year during a MEC, we had visitors from the shop at our home, and we made some corn dolls and Brigid's cross. So that was a lot of fun. We have that stuff sitting on our altar right now too. But really, we haven't done anything for the season right yet. We've just been terribly busy. So. Wanda says she has an altar in her spare room and she changes it up for the Sabbats. That's kind of like me too. I like to change things up for the Sabbats. And one in her garden for full moons or just because. I would love to see pictures, definitely of the garden when all your stuff is flourishing. So you have some pretty beautiful gardens. Send those pictures through. I love the idea of an outdoor altar. It's not something we've had together.
Not quite.
But I do like that idea. We don't really have a nice big backyard to really do anything with. So
and as I mentioned, we would share that energy with our neighbor who has his own thing going on in the backyard there.
Tai Chi / whatever. We're not sure what he does.
I wouldn't doubt that he has things that he could teach me. April says she doesn't change her altars up as frequently as she would like. The one for her nightstand is more designed for peaceful sleep. Yeah, so it serves a purpose and an intention, and I'm sure that's something that you've worked into your daily life, your daily practice, and that's good. I would say dust it off from time to time, revisit it, and that will help keep that energy going.
It's good to keep the energy moving around your altars. So even if you're really big with waterfalls and things like that. Same with me with little twinkly lights. So every time I'm flicking on a light or turning the waterfall aspects on, it's just creating some nice energy around our altar.
We don't like overhead lighting.
No. It's all ambiance for us.
Pat says she has 3. One in my room that is my main altar. I have another one with my spirit bottle for my dad and hubby, and one for the season in my kitchen. I light incense daily at my main altar and a few times a week on the seasonal one.
Nice. That's good. I love that.
Daily practice for you, daily ritual.
Curious, with your altar in the kitchen, Pat, is it for kitchen witchery? Is it for green witchery? Is it designated for your idea of cooking and hearth and home? Or is it just a space where you could put another altar?
Yep. See, right there, we've just explored a whole bunch of different reasons why you would have them in different places. And it could just be because that's the place where you spend most of your time and your energy. And it's about keeping that energy of magic, the energy of spiritual connectedness in the place where you are around. This could be done at your workspace, your office spaces. It doesn't take much. For some places, obviously, that might need to be a little low key or very soft and subtle. I read a book once where it was an electrician. His friend was an electrician, and he had specific tools in his pouch that were never used for the jobs that he did. They were set aside and sanctioned specifically as his altar tools. And nobody else on the job site knew this. They were just designated for that purpose. So anytime he was feeling the need to connect spiritually, he would reach for those tools as opposed to the other ones. So yeah, it's very much how you practice, how you live your life, and what you use, the things you use them for. April wants to know a little bit more on spirit bottles. This is a very popular thing with us, especially around Halloween.
Yeah.
Our dumb supper, we focus a part of the evening's event around building a spirit bottle.
Ancestor bottles, spirit bottles. Yeah, we have them in the shop, and obviously do the workshops on them as well.
Yeah, you want to elaborate a little bit more on what they are?
You know what? It's just components inside of a bottle to attract spirit communication. You can gear those components or trinkets or anything to hit one of your ancestors. Not hit them, but
appeal to.
Yes. Thank you. So you can direct it towards one of your ancestors if you'd like. So spirit bottles for me are always sealed, and they're put on your altar just to embrace that spirit communication. If you want to do an ancestor one, I'd be using a jar that you can remove the lid on and off, so that you can remove the items and replace it with different items, something to personalize it. So that's just like a brief little spirit bottle thing.
So would you classify this as this represents that, or do you look at the spirit bottle as being the host for the spirit, the place where the spirit would be residing
of all the correspondences and components to enhance? So it's not that the spirit would be residing there. I think wherever you're putting it, like in your home, on your altar, that's where it would be the most effective.
Right. A couple of ways you can look at that, obviously, and we do know culturally it has some differences of significance as well. It's actually not something I'm always cooking while this takes place, preparing for the meal.
Yes, the dumb supper.
I don't think I ever actually put one together.
No,
we do have a beautiful one on there, and it does represent our combined ancestors. It's not like it's only Melinda's ancestors or only my ancestors, but that's not something I've put some together at the shop, so certainly understand how it works, but it's not something I've personally worked with myself. So I could, if I were to explore it very freshly from my own way of dealing with it, I would look at it as helping me to connect with the spirit that I'm trying to connect with. And the spirit bottle would basically be kind of that proxy, that gateway between this realm and another realm, and a place that kind of opens the doors and allows me to be able to channel and direct that energy. More of a visual thing, keeping it in the forefront of your mind through seeing it. I think it works quite effectively.
Also energetically, though, because of the items, the herbs. Plus, you're personalizing it. You're connecting it to you with either hair or blood or tag lock of some sort. When you're doing an ancestor bottle, spirit bottles are fairly generic. You can actually communicate with any spirit. Yeah.
And even if you don't have the privilege of having tag locks like hair or fingernails to remind you or keep somebody close to you in that way, letters of intent are very beneficial for
petitions of some sort. Yeah, exactly.
So an altar would be a fantastic place for that sort of thing. If you were really into spirit communication, you would, whether it's an ancestor altar or just your main altar, and keeping that spirit bottle or that ancestor bottle present.
Yeah, it's also paying respect and tribute to your ancestors.
So many cultures do that in so many different ways. It's really about finding something you like. Amy says her large one, my large one is in the dining room, living room, and the smaller ones, there are smaller ones around the house.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
So Amy, with like your large one or your smaller ones, would these be things that people would recognize when they come in your home, or would they just be people just think they're part of your decor?
Yeah, does it just look like decorations or just a atmospheric place setting, so to speak, or is it like hardcore ritual? First time I ever went to Melinda's, I'm like, so this isn't overly witchy looking. What the heck's going on? And then a gray cat goes running past. I'm like, close.
No, that's not what he said.
That's a little on the nose.
He
there.
was like, yeah, black cat, little on the nose. I had to remind him it was a charcoal cat, and the cat wasn't even mine. It was my son's.
Yep.
So, yeah, but I don't know. He expected maybe some gothic black witch sacred room for sacrificial
with a
purposes.
Huge table set up with scary stuff all over it.
No, my house looked very much like the shop, even a little more dumbed down, actually. It wasn't until you actually created like a sacred room off of my bedroom. So it was used as an office / closet for me. And one weekend, Jeremy just cleaned the entire thing out and created this sacred space full of beautiful ambiance, and it became our altar room. So
yeah, it had no other purpose than for us to just enjoy the space.
Yep, I spent a lot of time in there.
Awkward little room.
Yes, yeah.
Massively crooked bookshelf.
Yeah. Melissa says, I would like to change mine up according to the celebrations, but I'm still learning. So for now, it's just set for one purpose. And I completely understand that, Melissa. Like, honestly, right now, ours is set up as a typical altar. It's got our tools on it. All the drawers underneath have all of our, tools we would use, candles, any incense, anything like that. And we do try to change ours up for the season. So, Imulk is coming, Melissa, and you probably don't know what that is.
Okay, she's an MEC member.
She's
we're
a
teaching her all this
new
stuff.
MEC member, but think springtime, think the light coming back. So lots of candles, whether they're ones you light or ones you turn on with a battery. Yes, maybe think of the goddess Brigid. She is definitely the goddess for the season, a fire goddess. So think about that stuff. Anything new, anything new for growth, flowers, anything like that. Just keep it simple.
A lot of people use this opportunity and time to plan their gardens for the season, to start seeds if they are depending on your climate.
To bless seeds.
I think we have quite a bit of time ahead of us before planting seeds would be beneficial. Like starting seeds, we got quite a bit of winter still here in season.
But you can put seeds on your table that you plan on planting in the next month or so. Any live plants, any potted plants are great.
So we'll teach you more about that with our fundamentals of witchcraft classes. There is one dedicated specifically to altars, tools, etc. And then there's another workshop dedicated to the seasons of the year, the wheel of the year. So we work through them season by season. So you have a foundation of understanding.
Think bright colors too.
Definitely.
So yellows and whites and reds, very appropriate
It's
for
all
the
about
season.
bringing back the light.
Bringing back the light, exactly.
We're past the days when the sun is down for the longest period of time, where the nights are the longest. We're now moving towards a season where we are halfway between half day, half night, and that's the season coming up is the season in between. Holly says, hi guys, she has a small circle altar cut from old sheet metal with pieces of magnetic hematite holding things in place.
That's pretty
really
cool. That's thinking outside the box.
Yep.
Would love to see a picture of that one. That's awesome.
Small circle altar, is it hanging up on the wall then, and the magnetic hematite things have to hold things in place? Or is it just like a table? I'm not 100% certain.
Like a table topper?
Like a tabletop, like something that sits on a table, or does it sit on the wall? Because actually that's a fantastic idea. We don't. I abhor things on the dishwasher and the fridge and stove.
Yeah.
I don't like magnets. I don't like things.
It's a joke around here. My kids will post things, hang things up with magnets just to get under his skin.
They even see how far back off, in between the wall.
Before he notices.
It's one of those things. I walk into the room and I'm like, there's a disturbance in the force. And I go and look, and sure enough, somebody's taped something somewhere, and I'm like, no. But that being said, if you have no OCD issues about things hanging off of that, why not create a temple space or an altar space right on your fridge or on your microwave or someplace that's a visual reminder for you every day.
That's what I wondered about the kitchen aspect with Pat's stuff. So that's another thing with our altars is they're not just like one little table. They literally go up the wall on the top of the shelves. Like we cover every inch of our case.
The way I see it, it's a 3-piece. I'm looking at it now. It's in the other room. We'll have a go at showing you guys one day our altar.
Yeah, we'll post some pictures too. Like I'll take some pictures today and post them.
Honestly,
so you can see
I'd say it's about 10 inches deep by 5 feet wide by 7 feet tall, maybe.
So it's a whole bookshelf.
It's a 3-piece bookshelf with it's an old television console bookshelf that we've repurposed specifically for that. It serves no purpose other than holding all of our knowledge, our tools, our altar tools, our space is all sacred and set aside for that. It's just.
So we only put like candles and incense and lighters and things, charcoal in a drawer. Mm-hmm. Everything else just gets moved to the shelves on the outside. So when we're done with the season for Brigid, we will move her statue back onto one of the shelves and clean up the centerpiece for the season that's coming.
And some of the stuff gets boxed up and stored away, obviously. It's not like everything fits onto that. We also have another cabinet right beside it, which is kind of your cabinet.
Yeah, it's got all my books and
deep
crystals
pockets in there that we can put things and store things away in. Rodrigo mentions the portable ones are brought out and back in as we need. Those are more the variable ones. We change the intention for the moment. As for the others, they're static and updated, but the significance stays the same. And yes, guitar case. That made the most sense to me.
So with your portable altar, do you specifically have a place you would go and take it? Or is this, like, if the day's beautiful, you just grab your altar and head out? Like a waterfall, a nice picnic area, maybe in the woods somewhere. Like what is your purpose with your portable one? So I know a lot of people from the shop, they make little portable ones to take with them as they're traveling around the country or somewhere like that. Do you just decide one day you get up and say, oh, it's beautiful out, let's grab our portable altars and go and enjoy the day, respect the day? Mm-hmm. So just curious. And then Pat said
about her spirit bottle.
Yeah, so your spirit bottle, you made yours at the dumb supper. Yeah, it's to assist with connection to my husband and father who are on the other side. Yes, we've had some good communication with people in Pat's life. So spirit bottles, ancestor bottles work great, and you make them elaborate or simple, right? It's a visual tool.
Personal. Yep.
We used to have ones in the shop. They were made out of urns. Like they were these beautiful planter urns, and we took all the plants out of them and made ancestor bottles. They were stunning. They were magnificent. Yeah. I loved making them. It was beautiful.
Holly, to get back to yours, actually I had this thought while you were with your first post about yours being on the metal and the magnetic hematite. I believe you do a lot of work with crystal grids as well, so it would make sense. And of course energy, metal being a huge conductor for energy, I think that's pretty awesome. And you do mention here you use yours to attract specific energy and results using candles, crystals, and other elements. So that's pretty amazing. I like that. Graham, sorry you're late. That's okay. Not a problem. We're always happy to have you here. Just to catch you up briefly on what's been going on, we've been talking about altars today, setups for altars, where you have them, seasonal changing for your altar, that sort of thing. Probably not a practice in your life. However, I was thinking about this beforehand. You might claim that you don't have an altar, but I would argue that you probably do. I do know that you spend a lot of time with tools, woodworking tools, or have in the past. I would say if you give your tools consideration and value, it's no different than what we use our altars for. It's really about focusing our intention towards attitudes of respect for spirituality and things like that. So you're not as far behind as you would argue you were if you said that you don't have an altar. You can probably relate in other areas of your life, not just tools, obviously. Pat says, mostly for another altar in my abundant crystals, I add whatever's associated with the most recent Sabbath. So
nice.
yeah, changing them up is a great way to refresh it. The seasons are a great way to keep track of why we're changing them, what we can do with them. Really, it's about moving out some of the stale energy, stagnant energy, or old energy, old purpose, and creating something new.
So is it hard to hear both of us today, or just Jeremy? Just curious.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, just catch up on some more comments. It's probably hard to hear me because I don't yell. All right, while we're waiting, Elizabeth says, when I was a little girl, every time I saw my grandpa, he would give me a quarter with the RCMP horse on it. Now when I find them, I put them on my altar. That's kind of cool. Really nice way to honor your grandpa, to have that memory. It's weird, the things that we remember. There may have been a lot of intention about that, but I know that through conversations with other people that I love, I've had these conversations with people, and I'll point something out, and they're like, really? I did that? Or that was a thing? Or, oh, I didn't even notice that you noticed that. It's really funny. The value that we place on it might not be something that they did, but it doesn't make it any less real or less special. Obviously, in some cases, you guys have these little things, these secret connections, the inside jokes and things like that, and that's pretty fantastic. So I do like that. Amelia's going to send us a picture of her larger one later.
Awesome. I love pictures. I love seeing it. It's inspiring to see what everyone's doing.
Okay, and we all know now that Holly's altar sits flat on the table. It's not one that hangs on the wall. It does have a hole punched in it so she can hang it.
Nice.
Did you get this made for you then? Or did you make it yourself? Just curious. You'll have to send a picture to us. That's appealing. I like the idea of that. Rodrigo says the portable ones stay in the back porch, so no one really sees these unless you're another practitioner. The others are spread around the house. There are 2 in the kitchen, 1 for the fae, lots of light for plants. They like. The other is for kitchen and green witchery.
Yep.
The living room has a family one, as well as our general purpose one. Our bedroom has one. Basement has one. Back, you just love it.
You sound like us.
We just live it.
We just live it. It's all over.
One for the moon and the other for nature. Pretty much grab and go. And Holly cut hers herself with a plasma cutter.
Wow. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, that's nice. All right. So we've certainly given, and please keep writing, keep filling in your thoughts on your altars.
I love these backyard ones. We need a backyard one.
We need a better backyard.
Yes, we need a better backyard.
That's the one thing really missing here is a beautiful backyard. We've talked quite a bit about it, finding a place that we could create like a circle sanctuary of some sort, some place where we could go for circle work.
That's my next.
Yeah, some place where we could allow other people to come too and to practice that wouldn't necessarily have a place to do it. That's our purpose for our temple space at the shop. I was hoping to maybe get that done during lockdown, but we've been busy with other projects and that's still on the back burners. But yeah, that will be another location in our disposal, basically, where we can utilize altars. Not only just one primary altar, but then altars for each of the representation of the elements as well: north, south, east, west, earth, air, fire, water.
Mm-hmm.
It's specifically designed to realign you with everything that's going on. So just catching up here. She can make more if anyone's interested.
Nice.
She'll
Very
message
cool.
us. That's pretty neat. I like the idea of the magnetic qualities too with that.
It's unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool.
So with your altars now, do you guys have a specific piece that is on your altar that you, that favorite piece that you love? that makes your altar specific for you, that connects you to your altar. So like I was talking about Jeremy and his little tangles, there's more than one connection there for him. We have our typical tools on our altar, but really that's unique. We also have some artwork. We like to put some artwork on there. We change it up, but we do have personal artwork that we like, or something that his daughter's made. It makes it personal for us. So what about you guys? Do you have that one piece that makes it unique to you, so it's not just a generic altar?
That's one of the things that I like as well with our altar, is we do have quite a collection of interesting finds, pieces, and it's not like any one of those define our belief.
Yeah.
We'll even change up the I love statuaries. I love having representations of a goddess or a god on the altar, but it's not like they're there for the entire time. I'll change them up, and it's not because I no longer believe in the deity or that imagery anymore, but because I like to change it. I like to adapt the flavor. Maybe it's appropriate for the season, maybe it's not. It just strikes a sense of whimsy in me, and I really want it on there. The last time we were out and about, I acquired a very bizarre, unusual little sketch painting, and you were like, why did you pick that out of all the things that were there? I'm like, I don't know. That was the only thing that appealed to me.
Yeah.
And it was just it represented a sense of nobility, but a humility around it as well. It was a little knight who was bowing over his sword, and it was just a very powerfully emotional piece that I thought, and it was like ridiculously cheap. I'm not sure if it was just a magazine cutout that was slapped into a picture frame. I haven't looked any closer.
Someone colored it, like a coloring book. They've
really
colored it.
But it was the only thing that truly stood out for me, and I picked it up.
So we do have like a little policy between the two of us. Whenever we go into another spiritual shop, we always purchase one thing. It's something. So the thing with working in a spiritual shop is you pretty much have everything you need or could want. So we very rarely go shopping for stuff. But when we do hit other spiritual stores, we always purchase something, whether it be of value or just a package of herbs or something that I might be running low on. Even though I can get that from like suppliers, it's still something personal that we do with each other, is shop that for that one thing out of each spiritual shop. So this was that time we were at a spiritual shop, and I don't know, we went to 3 that day, because we were out for the weekend, so we went the whole area and we visited all the spiritual shops we could. And I had shopped quite a bit at the last store. Tarot cards we bought, some crystals, and then this little hole in the wall store, I just couldn't find anything inspiring. And yeah, you bought that. You found that one little piece. Yeah. So
April says she has a backflow burner of Hecate that she bought from us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know the one
nice.
You're speaking of, the triple goddess. You put the little backflow burner on, and it's a little tendril of smoke streams down. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And you said that you've heard of altars facing north. Does this make them stronger? Our belief, our argument with that is, yes, you can place it in the direction of north. Doesn't really matter where you put your altar. A lot of people put their altars in intentional places or directions depending on how they're working their magic too. So if you're setting up an altar and you're working with ancestors or spirits, then you might want to look at the direction of west instead. Typically, when circles are cast, we end at the direction of north, so that's why the table usually sits at north. So we would start the direction of east, work our way around east, south, west, and then ending at the direction of north, and then reversing the process.
We've done things where our altar sits in the center of our circle.
Yep.
We've done that as well. So we do change ours up. The strength, the power, the energy really comes from within you, and around you, the energy. The direction is just guidance. I guess if you're doing ceremonial ritual work, it might play a key role. But for us, it's whatever we're focusing on in the moment.
I read a fascinating article too with a fellow who says that with his specific practice, the altar would always be set up at the east. However, the room that he has set up for it, that's where the door is, so it was problematic for him. So he didn't have a personal problem with putting it in a different place because not the feng shui, but the energy of the room suggested that it would be much more conducive to setting up the altar here. And he says the universe understands.
Yes.
I might not be facing the right way, but the universe gets it.
Don't get hung up on that kind of stuff, because then you'll never feel at home in your sacred space.
We're very fortunate in that our shop is directionally facing north already. The front of the shop is facing north. Everything that we instinctively do and set up within the shop just happens to be in the right position. So it's not a big deal for us. But the purpose behind setting it up is really to keep yourself coordinated and organized while you're doing your circle ritual work, anything like that. It's surprisingly easy to get turned around.
Yes.
Even if you know that the door's in. Oh shoot, I was just the other day in my own house tracing wires for the modem through cable and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I went downstairs, I turned around 3 times. What room am I under? I am so lost again, and then go back up, and I had a heck of a time. So it's not unusual for us, especially for focusing our intention on something strong, to get muddled and to get turned around. And I've seen it happen with other people. I've had it happen with myself as well. So just look at it this way too. If you are setting up your temple space, your altar space in a specific way, the greatest benefit for this really is only helping you stay focused and on point with the directions. But honestly, none of that really matters because the universe gets it.
So we've actually told people like visual aspects, an altar in each direction. So if you're setting up like north, south, east, west, you could make elemental altars in each direction.
Yes.
That kind of keeps you on point, keeps you focused, and then you don't have to worry about whether your main altar is north. You've now set up 4 different altars with maybe one in the center, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the intention with our altar in the shop, is going to be so that each wall is represented as clearly as possible, so that especially for beginners, people who are new to this, even if there's solitary practitioners, the intimidation value of, oh no, I turned clockwise from north, where did I go? Oh, east, right. And then what it represents air and, oh, what is this? I know this stuff, right? It really does help to catalog and to help you keep on point. To eliminate as much of the hesitancy or the guesswork as possible.
We want to keep you in the moment of the manifestation, the intention, the energy, not worry about if you're doing something right or wrong.
Yeah. It's the whole purpose of us at the shop really is to encourage people to explore, to have fun with it. Don't be afraid to muddle things up, because the universe, the divine force, the god, the goddess, they smile and say, I get what you're trying to do here.
Sharon's joining us. Hey,
Hi,
Sharon. Sorry, I saw you pop on a little earlier. We were just in a moment of answering a question. So, hey, thanks for coming on.
Rodrigo says, when I cook, I distribute some throughout. They all like, at least for the moment.
Nice.
Yeah. Pat says, I have mine on an eastern wall. I associate to the energy of the rising sun.
Very cool. Yep.
That's great. That's good power right there. I've shared this story with people at the shop before, our MEC group. I remember reading a book, can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Loved this book, really enjoyed it, but everything was backwards and I was confused. I'm like, okay, these aren't stupid people. What's going on here? Is it an editor mistake, or like, how did this get overlooked? And it wasn't until I finished the book and was reading up on the author, I discovered it was Australian. And their perspective was Australian, so their seasons were all different from ours. And it doesn't mean that everything's literally reversed, but it was, in some cases, their spell working was just reversed enough that it threw me off when I was reading this book.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
That was like going back 5 years.
Yeah, I think
years.
I even brought it to you. I said, I'm so confused. I don't understand what's happening here because everything is backwards.
Well, you asked me, asked me about the directions, and I'm like, no, you are right. This is how it should be. But then later on, he figured out they were Australian.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the amazing realization of this as well, is that what we represent as clockwise here in the northern hemisphere The direction of the hand sweeping in a clockwise motion comes about because the place where the watch was invented was in the northern hemisphere, and they recognized the direction of the sundial swept in that clockwise motion.
Yeah.
If a watch or a clock had been invented in a southern hemisphere, it would be counterclockwise to what we recognize. So the way of the clock as we see it is predominantly a northern hemisphere perspective. So look at that perspective too while you're creating your energy around your altars. Don't be afraid if you get muddled up or even go the wrong direction, because no matter what, the energy is the intention that you're putting into it. That's my belief anyways. So there we go. That's, yep. I think we're caught up on all the...
Yeah, there was a few comments in there we had to catch up on. So thank you guys. That's awesome.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to set up for the season coming up,
Emolk. So we kind of talked about that with Melissa.
Yep. Candles, seeds, herbs, anything to do with light, bringing in the light colors. What would be great colors?
I did mention that. So the goldens, the whites, the greens, reds, because it is a fire festival. You're representing Brigid.
Yes.
So any fire kind of colors, oranges, reds, yellows, and of course anything to do with light.
Yep.
It's all about new growth. It's all about the beginning of birth.
Yeah.
So some things like snowdrops or the first flowers of the season are good to put on your altar as well. So whatever those, first ones that creep through the snowdrops are good. What's the ones that are on Norfolk Street there in that yard? Just covers the yard. Little bluebells.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anything like that.
Yep. Anything that would appear first in the season.
Yeah.
That you could encourage, whether that's the actual plant itself, probably a little hard to find right now, but little pictures or images of it would be fantastic on your altar.
So I know Emolk is February 1st to February 2nd. Yep. We tend to draw things out. So we like to celebrate for the whole month. Versus like a couple days. So we start with the first of the month, the first and the second, and then we just take it right into Beltane. And once Beltane happens, then we change things up.
Yep. Crystals, clear quartz would be fine.
Yeah.
Crocuses.
That's
there
awesome.
We are. Citrine would be one that I would put on my altar for that.
Turquoise, rubies,
yep.
Onyx is really good as well. Those are just crystals.
Sure. Tarot cards. The sun would be a great
representation. The sun would be a great representation for sure.
Personally, I draw from the strength of the suit of pentacles. So the 3 of pentacles for me is all about new growth. It's about honing a skill, of opening up opportunities of self-development, opportunities financial or otherwise. Yeah, those would be cards that I'd throw on there from my own personal tastes.
Yeah. So and also Brigid is like the poetry aspect, the smith craft. So any types of poetry, any smith work.
Yep.
I know that's out of the box, but definitely that's in her wheelhouse. So representing her. Other things people put on would be like a bed. Brigid usually comes on February 1st and then kind of visits you at night. So the little bed there that she can bless and be a part of.
Yep.
So
cool.
Oh, actually, Beltane is like one of my. So I'm really big on like Yule, Samhain, Mabon, any of the fall aspects leading into winter. I'm not so.
Melinda's a hunker down kind of girl.
Yeah, I like the fall. I like the winter stuff. So I don't really enjoy the springtime that much. I do enjoy Beltane. So that's how I ended up going to Emolk into Beltane, because I really kind of skip over this season and focus on the ones that I enjoy.
I think that was the first big season that we did here in the house, was tying ribbons around the tree.
Yes.
For Beltane.
Yeah, I love the Beltane aspects. So that's just me.
Braid your girl's hair up.
Yeah.
So
Emolk is nice. I'm enjoying it. It is nice, and we set the altar up, but there's not really much to do. There's not really much crafting to do. So I do. Funny thing is when we're in the store, I hate Easter. Like, I hate it. I hate Valentine's Day. I hate Easter. It's just not a month. It's just not time I like. So I tend to skip over things.
It's
weird.
It's an odd one. I think there's some reasons for it as well. That obviously you just kind of gloss over that season. It's always been a challenging time for you.
It's not exciting for me.
No, it's not.
It's not exciting. It's not that we skip it. We do decorate our altar for each Sabbath. But as far as, like, if you go through my posts that I do on Facebook, you'll very rarely find things for anything after Yule until we hit, like, Beltane. And then I'm like, woohoo!
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you've got your favorites.
I do have my favorites.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love them? Some good.
Not a huge fan of Litha. Just not my...
No.
There's nothing inspiring for me. I don't know why. But I love Mabon, Samhain, Yule, Beltane. It's just my own thing.
That's all right, and I guess really that's what it comes down to. And you don't even have to set up your altars to represent the seasons. That's the whole point of this discussion, is really to keep that dialogue kind of open. What inspires you? What are you about? And honestly, you set up your altar to reflect what you like, what you believe in, what inspires you, what motivates you. It's that gentle reminder on your way past every time that, oh yeah, this is who I am, this is what I love, this is what I believe in, and moving from there. And if you find that your altar is getting a little stale or tired, then maybe it's time for a change. Switch it up a little bit. Do something that's going to enlighten you or move you out of the state that you're in into something unique and different. Yep, she gets it. Beltane and Samhain, good seasons. Rodrigo, we've got a pussy willow tree in the back that is great to prune back. My wife loves to weave them into baskets. I did some basket weaving when I was a little kid with my aunt. That's a fond memory. With grapevines and various other things like that. So that's pretty cool.
Honestly, it's probably the only thing I like is the herb aspect, and that I can get out and harvest again. Right? I can't really harvest much right now, and I can't get out and do that kind of stuff. And even into the other ones, Beltane is really the first part where I can, like, jump out and harvest things.
Yeah, we don't really like the cold that much.
I hate the wet.
Yep.
I hate the snow. My feet get wet. It's just not okay.
Yeah, we're fussy.
Give me something to be inspired by for those seasons, and maybe I'll change my mind.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up for today.
Okay.
I think that's a fun little conversation.
Yeah,
it was a great topic. Feel free to keep weighing in if you like. Throw in some more thoughts, some suggestions and ideas.
Throw out your pictures.
We'll get caught. Yeah, we'll catch up and figure out what all you said and put in our 2 cents and go from there. But thanks for joining us again today on your Sunday, and we will see you again tomorrow at 2.
Yeah, blessed be, guys. Enjoy your afternoon.